What's going on, Rollup Nation? Here today at Avalanche House, day 2 of Dev Connect with my boy Jack, founder of Avascan.
No, I'm not founder. Not founder.
Here we go.
First non-founding member. First
humble man himself. What a guy.
Yeah.
We are at the palace of Avalanche House today. It's quite a vibe, no?
Yeah. I'm seeing the view. I'm seeing the Bosphorus here, and it's really quite the view.
Yeah. I mean, Jack, I just step into Avalanche House, and Jack knows everybody all the way up to the founder of Avalanche. How did you get so involved in the ecosystem?
Oh, well, the thing is, the founders were intimate friends of Gun since a few years, and then when Avalanche was launching on mainnet, we're like, okay, we need an they were like, we need an explorer, and so we just kind of chimed in and made the explorer in 2 weeks. It was a very bad explorer, but made the data work. And so then we had a few months to work on Avascan, like version 0.1 for the testnet launch, the last testnet launch on September something. And then on September 2021 or 20, the mainnet launch. And we had, the Avascan ready with X-Chain indexing live. And then in a few months also C-Chain and then, P-Chain and so on.
Yep. And so you're pretty much like an Avalanche OG in the space. I mean, that DeFi craze was wild, and I'm just very happy to see Avalanche keeping the support. I think that this event's going to be one of the best events of the whole week. So looking forward to diving more into that. For our community who may be not so familiar about what the Avascan Explorer is, what Routescan is, what you guys are doing with the L2 space, would love a quick brief about what you guys are doing with Snowtrace and kind of the updates there. And then we can dive into the other side on the Ethereum side too.
Yeah, so basically, Avascan is a block explorer for the Avalanche network. Is the world's first unified block explorer in the sense that you have, you're used to block explorers being single chain, and that means that you click on it and you have a website that just shows you information about one chain. But then, we had Emin Gunsera, that we just met. And it was saying, like, from the beginning, was saying to us, I want Avascan to be the place where I want to see everything that is happening on Avalanche in one single place. And he was very, very vocal about also this kind of, details that we still haven't implemented because it's still a long way, but like to be able to trace the money from one chain to the other, like a seamless flow. And that is really, really what is happening on Avascan. You just cannot do everything but we have the unified experience. So you can go on the address details, you see everything, like the bank, and you can go on the transactions list. You can see every transaction that is happening across Avalanche, all the blocks and all the verified contracts and so on. Everything is unified at the backend level. So basically, you don't have any waiting time. This is not any, more computational work for your computer and for your browser and anything. And so this is like really fast, and you can see that also on Routescan. Routescan is our EVM focused product because we for Avascan we had an Avalanche focused product because we have C-Chain that is EVM, but we also have X-Chain and P-Chain that are different from EVM. So they have the UTXO based models, so that is different. So how can we just go out and serve other chains because this is a good indexer, a fast and cheap indexer that can serve well other blockchains. And so we're like, okay, we can use the same indexer, the same technology that we use on the back end, but on the front end, we need to still have something different from that. And people were very vocal about asking about, Etherscan features and so on, because, Etherscan is the leader about this. But the thing is, Etherscan is, as we saw in the last few weeks, Etherscan costs a lot of money. And so we found out that we actually could provide the same quality of service for a fraction of the cost, and that's what we did. So we in March of this year we started surveying blockchains about that, and in 6-7 months we had the first deal came through, and on September 1st we announced indexing a Boba network that has 2 rollups, one on BNB and one on Ethereum. And then shortly after we announced Metis, And I need to be. I like to be transparent about this. There were some issues with Boba and Metis, but just because there were Ethereum L2s and we weren't ready. We just you're not ready until you do it. You can't prepare for forever. And so we had some issues, about APIs, about like the interface that we had to add some new pages or make some like adjustments. But right now the satisfaction from our clients is actually from what I have, we weekly ask our clients, what has it been? Have you have any issues? But they seem happy. So that's what I'm satisfaction is an all-time high for our clients outside Avalanche and also inside Avalanche. We continue to serve subnets and also we are doubling down on Avalanche because we this journey out of Avalanche was just to double down on Avalanche as well. And so we after we launched the first two explorers, we also launched Flare and Etherscan, and then it was the time that with Gun and Kevin and also Luigi and everyone else, it was supposed to happen. It was supposed to happen, the switch from Snowtrace to a new solution by us. It did happen faster than we thought because Etherscan announced it abruptly on October 30. But we're doing the best we can to ensure that the transition is as seamless as possible by November 30. And actually, we have announced on our blog post that we are going to transition on November 27th. So we have 3 full days to ensure everything is happening smoothly.
Yep. Awesome. So simultaneously being able to provide really quality services for Avalanche and within the ecosystem, and then also expanding kind of the bounds and the product because there are tons of new chains coming out. There's been this thesis recently about like this 10,000 rollup thesis, right? Where we're going to live in a world of 10,000 rollups, and so also rollups aside, there's going to be tons of other chains too, which could be potentially serviced with Routescan or with Superscan or with Avascan or just whichever kind of scan you decide to create next or to build. So I'm curious, how do you plan to position for this 10,000 rollup or let's say a million chain kind of thesis with your product suite, and how do you see it playing out?
So let me tell you one nice thing. So we had some discussions internally about the velocity that we could take new clients on, and I was very, very, very rude in saying that we cannot take on new clients, so we cannot search for new clients. Why is that? Because we have a statement that is really, really, really like our second value proposition. That is, we can do an Explorer in less than 5 days, and we can ensure that. So we can ensure you have a Explorer live, ready in production in 5 days, and then we tell you, let's use it from 1 month before we go actually public. But you will have the Explorer live in 5 days. This is something that no other Explorer provider can do, no other. And so that is basically how we can help and sell and serve all these 10,000 rollups. Is that right now we have this 5 days rule, but then we're hoping, when we had subnets just had subnets, actually for Avalanche subnets, we told them that they could be indexed in 24 hours. Because that is what we can do. But, as we go out and, go for more chains and maybe they have more transactions and so on, that is going to be more difficult. But we are working on streamlining the process even more. And so that, we're hiring new people and so on. So that is faster and cheaper and simpler to actually index. I'm just, my vision is that in 3-5 years, you could just have a subscription for your Explorer just like you do with another SaaS. Like just when you subscribe to Fortune or whatever, just subscribe with your chain, you input your RPC, your archive RPC with debug trace active, and then you're ready to go. Like really, few minutes. You just pay.
Like a permissionless kind of able to kind of have just a UX where people can just jump in and join if they're launching on a rollup as a service provider or a RAS, as they call it. So which kind of switching gears to the rollup world, which rollup service, rollup as a service providers are you speaking to now, and which and kind of what's your plan of attack with the OP stack?
So yeah, I personally really like the idea of the optimism collective. Everything to be transparent, everything to be like having to go through a process and so on. And the thing about the plans with the OP stack is to actually do the Superscan. The Superscan right now is a proof of concept because we submitted the project for the retro PGF round 3. But we need to, transparent. We need to get some money to continue the indexing because that costs still a lot of money because we index the 4 base chains like OP, Base, Zora, and PGN. So we need money to, cover the server costs. And what was the other question again?
About the RAS provider.
Oh yeah. We're talking to different RAS providers, and it's really hard when you are like one provider and you need to talk to more partners, and you just want to be sure that everyone gets treated not specifically in the same way, but everyone gets treated the way they need to be treated. So like we're talking to Conduit. Conduit is focused on the OP stack, but then also we're talking to Gelato, to Altlayer, and we're trying to understand what are the needs of each one of them. And I need to tell you, this is hard, because, for example, Altlayer has this flash rollups thing.
Yeah.
So how can we, maybe they can just launch 2,000 rollups in a day, and how can we count for that?
Yeah.
We have a solution that is really light on that. We call it the DevNet Explorer on Routescan. So just basically go to DevNet, you input your RPC. You can also input that in the explicit URL. And you can just have a light explorer with basic transactions and blocks and basic addresses information with the gas balance, and that is like the real deal for like DevNet purposes and for Flash purposes, but also for just regarding about this, we have this DevNet Explorer from Routescan that is a explorer that you can just input your RPC in the pop-up that you will get on the website. It's on devnet.routescan.io, or you can just use the explicit URL to just have the information from your RPC directly connected with an explorer, and then you have just like basic blocks and transactions and address details with gas balance, and that's it. But we're also
Sorry. And yeah, I can see how with the Flash rollups from Altlayer, it's like, how do you if these rollups can be created and then shut down instantly, how do you plan for some sort of monthly recurring revenue, or like how do you structure your team? And also these all the RASs are similar, like they all have similar offerings, but like you said, there's like little key differentiators you have to kind of account for. But you were kind of wrapping up that thought on the DevNet there.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was going at. Thing is, we have some also Avalanche has asked us, because Avalanche has a AvaCloud that is a something like a rollup as a service, it's a subnet as a service program process. I don't know, and so maybe they're spinning up. I don't know, maybe they're spinning up thousands of subnets and we don't even know it. And Patrick, VP of engineering, was like, how can we have maybe verified contracts or more features on the DevNet? And we're like, we need to index those. But then I'm like, how can we maybe provide a full index explorer for people that are just testing, or for providers that are just testing? So we're brainstorming about a way to just get paid once for every kind of trial that you want to make. You can just spin up 1,000 explorers, but that is, that is after the Snowtrace migration. So,
yeah. So just to kind of wrap up here, I know you've got a panel upcoming. What's the timeline on the Snowtrace migration, and kind of how's that looking now?
So that is looking good. We are indexing about 6-7% of verified contracts on Snowtrace every day. So we should be finished. Right now we are about at 25-27% of 1.5 million verified contracts. So that's a lot. So we will actually load on to on the new Snowtrace for a few days, so you may be able to see degraded performance on the soon-to-be new Snowtrace. But by November 27, everything's going to be smooth, and we're continuously, everything that we won't have also for other chains, we will implement it. And the thing is, since Routescan is a block explorer platform, it means that chain developers don't need to pay any upgrade fee, because every upgrade that we do is going to be relayed across all the chains that we support if your chain support it. So if you have if we work, I don't know, with Etherspot, who has 4337 account abstraction standard support, and all the chains that support exactly that standard will also support that. So you see how this is really scalable and scales to thousands of rollups and subnets.
Let's go. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Cheers. All right.